Yo, what's going on? In today's video, we're gonna go over your fat loss blueprint. Let's go. Yo, my name is Armand James, and I've been helping people for the past 13 years lose fat, lose weight, get their fitness right, get healthier. So you know for a fact, I'm not gonna be over here telling you do some crazy diet or some BS workouts. Everything will be on point, effective, and as sustainable as possible. Let's do it. Yo, the first thing that we want to make sure that we do is that we have a solid foundation. What I mean by this is that we're already eating high quality foods consistently. We're training consistently throughout the week. Maybe that's 2 to 5 times a week. We're managing our stress really well, and our sleep quality is on point, okay? So we want to make sure those things are done first, okay? We got those things down, right? Because when we jump into the fat loss phase, it's gonna feel 10 times easier. And the goal is to make sure that everything feels really easy, okay? We don't wanna make things hard, right? Fat loss, losing weight, it's already complex, right? So we wanna make sure we keep it as simple as possible so that way we can adhere to it in the long term. Yo, now that we got that down, what we want to make sure that we do is that we set realistic expectations, okay? Because sometimes people's expectations are through the roof, and when things don't go their way, they start to feel very discouraged. They start to feel like giving up. So we don't want that, okay? So we want to manage expectations. We want to set realistic ones. So when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to weekly fat loss, we should expect 0.5 to 1% of your total body weight, okay? And then as you get leaner, as you become more muscular, you should, the scale becomes less meaningful, okay? So you're not gonna see as much change in the scale. So you can't base everything off of the scale, all right? So the scale doesn't tell the whole story. So keep that in mind, okay? Yo, side note when it comes to the scale, because I know a lot of people will base their success on what that number says. And we don't want to do that. Because at the end of the day, your weight is going to fluctuate. The scale doesn't tell the whole story. You could follow the plan to the T, but sometimes there's going to be weeks where that number doesn't change all the time because of maybe that stress, maybe you had a poor night's of sleep. Maybe you ate something that has a little bit more sodium, right? And you got to be mindful of that. You got to manage your expectations. Just because the scale isn't dropping the way that you want it doesn't mean that you're not making progress. If you're feeling good, if your pictures are looking different, your clothes are fitting differently, you're making progress. Yo, next thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that you're ultra clear with your goal. Because there's going to be trade-offs. You're going to have to say no to things that you would have said yes to in the past. So make sure it's worth it to you. There's going to be things that you're going to wish you could do, but the goal got to be greater. So ask yourself these questions. Are you ready, willing, and able to do the work? If you answer maybe or like I'm not sure to at least one of them, it's going to be really hard to commit to. So make sure that those are all yeses. All right? Yo, what's going on? I'm Armand James, and we're gonna do a tour in Paradise. Get it? Paradise Gym. Paradise.
Yeah.
Get it?
How about you do the tour?
No, you do the tour. It's your gym.
I know, but it's nice if we did it. All right, welcome to the gym. We have members only. If you're not a member, sorry, you can't come in. We got a basketball here. It's miscellaneous. We got snake plants. Don't look at it as dying. We have deadlift, we have rogue stuff here, Arsenal, intake dumbbells, Prime Fitness, and then we have Nautilus, functional trainer.
You gotta turn around.
We have...
I'm just looking at your back.
Oh, my bad. We have a turf right below you.
Wow.
It's a baseball turf, so I got the wrong one. The Life Fitness from Cuts Training back in the day is here. Got all the leg stuff with all the girls. Restroom. Don't mind the Preacher Curl or Arsenal or Assault Fitness treadmill. We're actually going to put that in storage. Come upstairs, guys. Welcome to my crib. And this is my bed. My bed's over here. This is where I sleep. And so we have Matrix. And this is my bed here. And this is my nap time, but since Armand's here, we're doing my MTV Cribs tour. We got Hyper, Peloton, and Lake Curls extensions. Whew, that was a lot. And we have leg curls from Cuts Training. So that's the tour.
That's Chris Maggs, by the way. I didn't introduce you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Hey, this looks actually really cool. Not gonna lie. No, I would. So a big thing, when Chris Chris went a little crazy, just bringing in a lot of stuff. Like every time he said, "Oh, I'm done. I'm not gonna buy anymore." He keeps buying more stuff.
I think people.
But honestly, like it actually looks pretty good. Doesn't look too crowded, but good job. Give you props, dude. All right, let's go to the fun stuff. Let's get your calories down. By the way, I'm not gonna be over here throwing you a bunch of numbers or equations or anything like that. What I wanna do is keep it as simple as possible for you, so that way you could just get started ASAP. So what I want you to do is you're gonna go to tdeecalculator.net. You're gonna put your information on there. It's gonna give you your maintenance calories, and you're gonna take that number and you're gonna do a 10 to 20% reduction. And that should be a good starting point to put you in a calorie deficit. If it doesn't, let's say you follow it throughout the week, you're on point, and your weight stays the same or it doesn't drop, or you go up, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna do another reduction. Okay, maybe that's another 10 to 20%. But the goal is to make sure that we find that calorie deficit. All right, let's break down protein. So when it comes to protein, what I would do is I would go 0.7 to 1.3 times your body weight. I've seen folks that went up to 2.2 to 2.6 times their body weight, but for the sake of simplicity, let's just do a gram per pound. But let's say if you weigh like 260, and 260 could be a lot of protein, what I would do is I would just do goal body weight. So if your goal is 200 pounds, I'll just keep it at 200 pounds. And a few notes when it comes to protein. Sorry, I'm a little gassed when I'm doing a set. But when it comes to protein, the older you get, the more protein you're gonna wanna consume. If your goal is to build muscle or build a better or stronger physique, you wanna be on the higher range, right? So if it were me, I would go about 1.2 to 1.3 times my body weight. But again, for the sake of simplicity, just 1 gram per pound per body weight, and just leave it there. All right, when it comes to fat, remember when I'm saying fat, I'm talking about like cashews, almonds, avocados, avocado oil, macadamia nut oil, salmon, eggs, things like that, okay? So when it comes to fat, I would do about 0.26 to 0.46 times your body weight. I personally like being on the higher end just because of all the health benefits that fats can provide. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I would start off there and then make adjustments when needed. How's your day going? The goal is just to get some structure within your meals right now. Cool? And then if you can see there, like you see 6-ounce chicken breast or any lean protein. I would say expose yourself to different types of foods right now. Like think of building that skill. Honestly, have fun with it. It will work off of this structure, and then we will go from there. Does this all make sense? Yo, now that we have our protein down, we have our healthy fats down, now we can talk about carbs. So when it comes to carbs, whatever calories you have left over, just use that as your carb intake. All right, so again, the goal isn't to cut carbs. If you love carbs, if you enjoy it, the goal is to keep that in as long as possible through the process, through the journey. All right, carbs is super helpful, and as far as a sustainability standpoint, Keep it in. All right, so keep in mind, this is just a starting point. You're gonna need to make adjustments when and if needed. But the main tool that I'm gonna use to track calories and my macros is gonna be something like Cronometer or MyFitnessPal, something like that, okay? So just plug in your numbers there and then you should be good to go. Track your weight weekly, see how it's looking, see how it's moving, and then make adjustments when needed. Yo, let's talk about meal timing. How many meals should you have throughout the day? How many hours should you wait in between each meal? Should you have a pre and post workout meal? Here's the thing, when it comes to fat loss, the most important thing is making sure that you come up with something that is both sustainable and something that you can adhere to in the long term. You want to make sure that you are, flexible with your meal timing and distribution. That is key, all right? As long as you are in a calorie deficit, that's all that really matters. So you do not have to eat 6 meals a day. You don't have to eat every 2 hours. You're good. Personally, I have about 4 to 5 meals a day, and I spread them out 3 to 5 hours. And yeah, I don't really have a pre and post workout meal, to be honest. As long as I get all my meals in, as long as I'm in a calorie deficit, I'm good. Yo, something that is super underrated for your fat loss goals, drinking water, making water a priority. And the cool thing about water is that you can use it as a tool to help you eat less. So let's say you're gonna go out to eat, right? Let's say you're gonna have a free meal and you don't wanna over consume calories because that's not the goal when you wanna lose fat, right? So if you wanna, naturally control the calories coming in, what you can do is drink a, glass of water or, some water before your meal. So that way you'll naturally eat less. You're gonna feel fuller, right? So how do you increase your water intake throughout the day? So one thing that you can do also is, let's say you have one of these. And what you can do is get consistent with one of these and then gradually move your way up. So I'll get consistent with one of these a day. And then once I'm there, I'll have 2 of these a day. And then I'll obviously move up from there. And then also another thing you could do is think of water meals. So throughout the day, have a water meal. So you're gonna consume maybe like a glass of water or some water at 9 a.m., then 12, and then 3 o'clock, something like that. All right, so those are some ways you can increase your water intake throughout the day. You need to drink water for your fat loss goals. All right, it's really important. On top of, you're able to use water as a tool to help you naturally eat less, which is really good for your fat loss goals. Yo, let's talk about training for fat loss. So when we go into the gym, our goal is to get stronger and improve every single lift. That's what we want to do. Our goal isn't to go into the gym and try to burn as many calories as possible. That is not effective and that is not sustainable. What we want to do is, again, get stronger. What we want to do is preserve as much lean body mass as possible as we are going through this fat loss phase. Personally, what I like to do is I like to do either a 4-day or 5-day training split. 4 days, I'm doing push-pull split. 5 days, I'm doing push-pull legs. That's what works best for my lifestyle, my schedule, and that's what I enjoy most. And the most important thing for you is making sure that you come up with something that is some type of resistance training, something that you enjoy, and that's what matters most, all right? Keep training as simple as possible. Don't overcomplicate it. Yeah, that's what we want to do for training, all right? Yo, I want to leave you with this. What I want you to do, I want you to have a planned meal outside of the plan. So I want you to call this a free meal. It's not a cheat meal. It's not a day we could go binge and go crazy. We're not going to do that. But what you're going to do is you're going to have a free meal where you are mindful of calorie intake, right? But this allows you to have a break throughout the week from being super detailed. So how I like to approach this is let's say I'm going to start my fat loss phase. So what I'll do is I'll have this maybe 3 times a week. Okay, so I'm going to do it Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. As weeks progress, what I'll do is I'll bring it down to 2 times a week. So it'll be Wednesday and Sunday. And again, as weeks progress, I'm going to cut it down to only 1 time a week. All right. So
this helps me adhere to the diet long term. Okay, so I find this super helpful. It's what works best for me. It's something that you could probably try out. But again, I'm still being very mindful of my calorie intake. I'm being super detailed with my diet. I'm structuring my meals a specific way throughout that day as well. So I'm keeping the goal in mind. Okay, but again, this allows me to have a break from being super detailed throughout the week. Let's call this a structured indulgence. Let's leave it at that, okay? So hopefully you found this video helpful. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you. See you in the next video. Peace.